This is ABC 7 News at 6.
November is National Native American Heritage Month, and the executive director of the WVII Alliance is shining a spotlight on violence against Indigenous women and people. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. Bryant testified on this issue this week at a congressional hearing. Our Kelly Warren has the story.
It felt very good to be seen and heard as somebody from Maine, as a Wabanaki woman, as somebody from the East.
This is Molly and Bryant.
And WVII, Molly and Bryant, Naganujaya Banawapskeg. My name is Molly and Bryant.
She's the Wabanaki Alliance's executive director and a member of the Penobscot Nation. Bryant testified alongside other Indigenous female leaders at a congressional hearing earlier in the week as the only attendee from the Northeast.
When an Indigenous woman goes missing, there is not the same attention and action as when a Caucasian woman does. The primary reasons for this are threefold: societal indifference, jurisdictional and coordination issues, and a lack of resources for tribal law enforcement agencies.
And from Washington, D.C. to Maine's Penobscot Nation, she's bringing attention to the violence Native women face in the United States.
So I have 3 daughters, and they're 2, 15, and 18. So the statistic is 1 in 3 Indigenous women will be the victim of a crime. And I'm always hoping it's me, that I'm saving them from that, because there's 4 of us in my family.
Indigenous women are much more likely to experience violence in their lifetimes. Statistics from the U.S. Department of the Interior show that 84% of Indigenous women have faced violence in their lifetime. 55% have faced sexual violence, and the leading cause of death for both Native women and men is homicide.
And sometimes when people hear about these horrible things, there can be guilt or shame or not knowing how to deal with these feelings. And all we can do is understand the truths about everyone around us and then go forward together.
For more information and resources, visit WabanakiAlliance.com or visit our website at foxbangor.com. On Indian Island, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, state police have announced 2 arrests following multiple searches related to child sexual abuse. According to the Maine State Police, those arrests are part of a larger operation that involved the execution of 16 separate search warrants across southern and western Maine. Those searches confirmed the possession, dissemination, and production of child sexual abuse material, as well as disseminating sexually explicit material to minors and online coercion of children to produce sexual abuse material. 48-year-old Sean Ramsey of Arundel was arrested for possession of firearms in violation of a protection order. 37-year-old Benjamin Fecto of Elliott was arrested on 2 outstanding arrest warrants. Those warrants were for failing to appear on charges of noncompliance with a sex offender registry, violation of conditions of release, theft, and refusing to submit to arrest. Now, the investigation is ongoing, and Maine State Police worked in cooperation with the Department of Homeland Security on those searches, as well as multiple local law enforcement agencies.
A new bill recently introduced by Senator Angus King could have a big impact in Acadia National Park. It would increase funding to continue fixing aging infrastructure in Acadia and national parks across the country. Our David Ledford has the details.
America's greatest idea, national parks, needs investment.
There's a new effort in the works to repair and maintain our national parks. The America the Beautiful Act is a new bipartisan bill introduced by Senator Angus King and 3 co-sponsors from other states to preserve and manage the country's public lands.
When you go to a national park, you need roads, you need parking areas, you need restrooms, you need maintenance buildings, you need the carriage roads, you need the trails.
The act would reauthorize a park restoration fund originally passed in 2020 and increase funding to help address growing maintenance needs in national parks. In a statement, Senator King said in part, quote, "This legislation is an important step forward in establishing lasting protections for our public lands and serves as a proud reminder that stewardship is not a partisan issue." In Acadia National Park, Friends of Acadia President and CEO Eric Stiles says maintenance could include repairs to the Jordan Pond House and improvements in well-used areas of the park. He also says funding national parks is essential because of the economic impact they have on the states they're in.
Here at Acadia National Park, again, we get about 4 million visits a year. The total economic input or impact in the private sector down East Maine alone is over $650 million.
Stiles says funding park maintenance now can help to preserve the land for future generations. To learn more about the bill, view this story on our website. In studio, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, two brothers reopened a coastal town's only grocery store just in time for the holidays. Our Doug Banks takes us to Searsport.
All right, opening day, Edwards Brothers Supermarket, Searsport. Come on in.
We don't have any cards, coupons, any gimmicks. Just savings every day.
The people of Searsport have a grocery store again.
They've been very appreciative of all the work we've done and to bring the store back to the town.
This past summer, Tozer's Searsport location closed.
I've known the family for a lot of years and reached out to them.
12 weeks of renovations culminated in Friday's grand opening for the local supermarket's new location.
I don't think the reality is quite set in yet that, we are now Edwards Brothers Supermarkets in Searsport.
Their Main Street Searsport location is the newest location for the Edwards Brothers, who also have stores in Dover Foxcroft, Unity, and Trenton. And its co-owner says it's community spirit that drives them all.
We have customers that come in and want a certain salad dressing, we bring it in. We want to carry what they want, not what someone tells us to carry. So we're here for them.
It's a place where we want them to come and feel welcome. If they have issues, I want them to be able to talk to me. It just isn't a grocery store to me, it's a family.
To learn more about their frozen turkey special ahead of Thanksgiving, visit Edwards Brothers Supermarket's Facebook page and website. In Searsport, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Thanksgiving holiday travel is beginning, and this year there are predictions there will be more than ever before. Susan Farley has the details.
This is record-breaking.
Dan Goodman with AAA Northern New England is talking about the number of people expected to travel over Thanksgiving. He says it's the largest amount in the 20 years that AAA has been keeping data.
This is the big holiday. This is the big one. This is when we see the most amount of travelers for holiday. We're going to see almost 80 million travelers. 79.9 million Americans are going to travel for Thanksgiving.
Lower gas prices are making travel a little more affordable. However, Goodman says increases are expected across the board in travel by automobiles, planes, trains, buses, and even cruise ships.
We've really seen post-pandemic that people are starting their vacations earlier and ending a little later to spend more time with family and friends and just, be with people they love.
Goodman says the Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving will be the most heavily traveled, so you can avoid some frustration by going another day.
There's a lot of people traveling. Millions of people more people are going to be on the roads this year. So pack your patience, be kind to your neighbors on the road out there, and increase that following distance. We usually recommend 3 to 4 seconds in between the car in front of you. You don't know what type of tires they have. You don't know what's underneath those tires, a little moisture or ice. So it's always better to be better prepared out there on the road. We want you to get to that destination safely.
Susan Farley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Busy on the roads out there. It looks like it's going to be a little crazy.
And my husband and I had to adjust our travel plans anyway because of family events. But from the beginning, after last year, we had made the mistake of traveling home to Maine on the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And that was just an enormous mistake. It was the worst travel day, the worst traffic. Our trip was like 14 hours back from Pennsylvania. And so this year we definitely extended to avoid that travel day. So it is worth the use of paid time off.
I'm sure. Yeah,
to
it saves
avoid
you
the
a
bad
headache.
travel days.
Maybe a bit of heart palpitations out of the way by traveling on another day.
Absolutely.
But yeah, well, let's see what the weather will be like. Let's check in with Conrad for a first look at our forecast.
Thank you so much, Devin. You ready for Thanksgiving? It is around the corner. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about travel weather the next few days. For today, though, not looking too bad. Yes, we are seeing some showers out there here in town. Same story in Augusta, Bar Harbor. You are looking at those mid-40s outdoors. But overall, though, most of the Northeast, not too bad. Boston into New York, you are looking at just some clouds out there. No delays in your neck of the woods. Now, future temperatures, though, for Thanksgiving, we're going to be cooling on off. We're looking at below average average temperatures possibly back in those upper 30s. Now things get interesting, especially for our travel days. Tuesday especially, possibly some rain and snow in our northern counties, maybe mixing in as well here in town. And then it gets even more interesting by next Friday into next Saturday. Possibly some snow back in the forecast, maybe just maybe a nor'easter. This is something we'll of course keep an eye on, but our travels back home might not be ideal. And speaking of that snowfall, this is the checklist you want to go through, right? Make sure your whole vehicle is cleared off, leave a lot of time. So leave extra early, slow down. Of course, I'd say 40% slowing down depends on the road conditions, space between the vehicles in front of you, and no sudden swerves. That's where it's going to really start to push you off the road. And of course, have your winter kit ready, maybe a shovel as well. For today, though, we were looking at some showers out there. Now things are pretty clear. We're not done with that rain just yet. Still looking at some gusty winds out there, around 12 miles per hour here in town. Same story right at the coast. Overnight tonight, though, we're going to continue to see those scattered showers, lows back in those lower 40s. Devin?
Thank you, Conrad.
All right, well, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll be taking a look at the latest updates from President-elect Trump's transition into office.
Stay with us.
Maine's largest network of parts has more reasons to shop this fall and more ways to keep you warm. Stock up and hit the road with Milwaukee's heated hoodies all winter long at the lowest price guaranteed. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
What's happening at the Penobscot Ice Arena?
Youth hockey leagues. Public skating. Stick and puck. Birthday parties.
Adult hockey leagues.
Frozen Friday laser light skate.
Lace up your skates today at Penobscot Ice Arena in Brewer. For more info, visit penobscoticearena.org.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
As a child, you just couldn't keep me out of the puddles. That's where the acorn essentially was planted. As we got started, we had nothing in the bank, we were cash poor. That was just a one-man show. The support of my credit union, starting the business, the banking advice, when you can call them and they're there for you, that's tremendous. It's been a great asset for me and for my company's growth. It's really an exciting time, and my credit union made that possible.
Maine's largest network of parts has more reasons to shop this fall and more ways to keep you warm. Stock up and hit the road with Milwaukee's heated hoodies all winter long at the lowest price guaranteed. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
President-elect Trump has tapped Pam Bondi for Attorney General, replacing Matt Gaetz when he withdrew from consideration. She served as Florida's Attorney General between 2011 and 2019 and is a longtime Trump loyalist. ABC's Christiane Cordiero has more from Washington.
Today, President-elect Trump's new pick for Attorney General, Pam Bondi, Florida AG turned lobbyist. Her nomination comes after Matt Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration. Gaetz was one of several members of Congress nominated for a Trump cabinet position, but is the only one to resign from Congress pending confirmation. And today, he says, he doesn't plan to go back.
I'm going to be fighting for President Trump. I'm going to be doing whatever he asks of me, as I always have. But I think that 8 years is probably enough time in the United States Congress.
As Florida's Attorney General, Bondi sued multiple drug manufacturers and pharmacy chains for their roles in the opioid crisis. She claims that work reduced opioid deaths statewide. She was criticized during the 2016 presidential campaign when she passed on a case against Trump University shortly after receiving a donation from the Trump Foundation, and rallied for then-candidate Trump at the 2016 Republican National Convention.
These laws are under siege by a president determined
to ignore laws he doesn't like, and by a former Secretary of State who believes the laws don't apply to her.
In 2020, during Trump's first impeachment trial, Bondi stood by Trump as a member of his legal team.
They threw due process, fundamental fairness, and our Constitution out the window in the House proceedings. That's why we're here.
And at Trump's hush money case this spring, Bondi was one of several Trump allies showing up in a sign of support. That trial ended with Trump convicted of 34 felonies. Sentencing in that case was scheduled for next week, but today the judge put it on hold indefinitely. The defense is expected to file a motion to have the case dismissed entirely. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6. If you're still without a turkey with Thanksgiving right around the corner, Grace Pond Farm has got you covered.
And in sports, the Foxcroft Academy Ponies will look to win their third title in 4 years on Saturday against Wells. We'll have that story after the break.
You come alive in the dead of winter and start work early on snow days, because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to move, plow, blow, and thrive in the winter. So when the snow falls, you could rise to meet it. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, plus save up to $2,600.
Gun Sports and Brewer knows that for fun, exercise, and meeting new friends, nothing is better than ice skating. Whether it's sailing down the ice, making a great pass, and scoring in a game of hockey, or the grace, strength, and expression of figure skating. From the youngest child all the way to adulthood, anyone can enjoy the fun of skating. At Gun Sports, we supply the equipment for your skating fun for great prices, the proper fit, and service after the sale. Shop your locally owned Gun Sports Shop, Greenpoint Road in Brewer.
Rennie's, a main adventure.
Told you once, but we're going to tell you again. Rennie's has a great selection of Carhartt. Lots of accessories, hats, gloves, you name it. Got some great jackets, pants, great selection of sweatshirts.
This is a good color. I think it looked good on me.
I think so too. Lots of stuff for ladies and kids. Great prices, great selection. Get to Rennie's and get your Carhartt.
Thank you for shopping at Rennie's this holiday season.
Your Carhartt headquarters.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy!
This week at 7:30, only on ABC 7.
The University of Maine Black Bears take on the New Hampshire Wildcats. Saturday at 1 on ABC 7.
Tomorrow is the big day. Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. On Saturday, the high school football state championships will be held across the state, and Foxcroft Academy will be looking to win their third title in 4 years. Our Jack Webb has the story.
If we were going to get here, we wanted Wells. We want to run back what happened last year.
The Foxcroft Academy Ponies are a modern-day Maine high school football dynasty. But Wells brought that to a halt last season, denying the Ponies of a three-peat at the very end of an instant classic.
We knew we wanted to make it to the end of the season from the beginning, and we're just very thankful that we can get back and play a team that we can hopefully get back at from last year.
It's safe to say the Ponies have been looking forward to the rematch.
It's a great opportunity for this group, and we obviously respect them. They're a great opponent. We know who they got. They know who we got, so it's just going to be a great and a fun time. Can't wait.
It hasn't been an easy path back for Foxcroft, as they lost 14 seniors to graduation last year, leaving big shoes to be filled.
Having to have all these new kids come in, it's just seeing them perform to their greatest ability and us winning games because of them. It's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
The players say the situational football their young group's been exposed to this season is crucial in their success.
Being young and not really knowing every situation of the game, like as a group, but because we had like sophomores and juniors that didn't really get a lot of playing time in the last year, but just coming together and learning and growing in those situations was huge for us.
If the Ponies can win on Saturday, that'll mark their 3rd title in 4 years. But this one would be just a little more special given what it took to get here.
Bring back from our 8th grade team and how coming up through we didn't all get to play as much.
It would be amazing for this group especially because no one really expected us to be here again. So it would mean a lot, but just we got to go out and play for each other at the end of the day.
They'll square off with Wells at Lewiston High School on Saturday. Kickoff is slated for 2:30 p.m. From Dover Foxcroft, Jack Webb, ABC7 Fox 22 Sports.
Thanks for that, Jack. Wishing the Ponies some luck. Staying with some football, Saturday is also a big day for the Maine football team. Not only do we have the 11-man high school state championships, the Black Bears host the University of New Hampshire in the 112th battle for the Bryce Cowell Musket. The 24th ranked Wildcats need a win to get into the playoffs. Maine is playing for the chance to take the Musket back for the first time since 2021 and for the first time in the Jordan Stevens era. New Hampshire has 7 wins on the season, and they would be the 3rd ranked win for Maine should the Black Bears take the victory. But in order to do that, they need to play some of their best football on both sides.
We got to be a great team on Saturday. You know, like all the things that we talk about have to be seen. Our accountability, our mental and physical toughness, our belief in our process. All those things got to be seen and felt on Saturday.
This is a goal that we put in 365 days a year is to beat UNH. And it's a rivalry that is one of the longest rivalries in college football. So it's going to be a tough game, and it's really just hard-nosed football at the end of the day, which we love, and it's something we're looking forward to every season.
All right, we are looking forward to that one as well. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. You can watch it right here on ABC7. That is all the time we have for sports. Here's Conrad Sapinski with your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Our Maine weather today is brought to you by Varney Ford. Varney Ford in Newport gives 1 full year maintenance on every new and used vehicle they sell. Come visit them and see their huge selection of cars and trucks, the nice car and truck people. Look at all of this precipitation, my friends. Pennsylvania getting several inches of snowfall. I got buddies out there in Scranton, and they saw that heavy, wet snow really bringing those tree branches down. Not quite done just yet. We're continuing to see that counterclockwise rotation with still a lot of precipitation left over in New Jersey. Same story in upstate New York and Pennsylvania. For our area, mainly a rain event earlier today. Now things are pretty calm. Not quite done with that rain just yet, as the overnight hours will consist of more scattered showers back in the forecast. And then for tomorrow, things will start to improve, but not quite that first half of the day. Still some showers in the area. Mainly a rain event all over the region. And then Saturday night into Sunday, possibly seeing some snow mixing in our northern counties, of course, and then even into the first half of the day on Sunday. Maybe a little bit of that rain and snow mix in town. We're not looking at accumulations here in Bangor and at the coast, but up north, you got to go north of Millinocket and Greenville to really tap into just a little bit of snow accumulations in the forecast. Now, rainfall-wise, though, a lot of it back in the forecast. This is within the next 5 days. Look at this, widespread 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain. That's pretty significant. Usually the average for the whole entire month is around that. So if we're getting that in a matter of 5 days, we're going to continue to help those drought conditions that are continuing to stick around for most of the country. Over 80% of the country is still in some type of droughts. Now, speaking of that snow, we might see that strip of 1 to 3 inches, mainly Millinocket, Greenville, and then north, of course. We're used to that where those temperatures are a bit cooler. But here in town, we're not looking at any of that. Maybe a trace at most, melting just like that with temperatures starting to rise. Speaking of temperatures, upper 40s out there here in town. Bar Harbor, same story in Machias, you were back in those upper 40s, 52 in Rockland, nice and toasty, right? Big winter out there for the temperatures back in those 50s. That puts you above average. Now, speaking of the coast, though, we are seeing some gale warnings out there till around 7 a.m. on Sunday, so please be careful if you are out and about fishing, maybe trying to reel in some giants. Good luck with that. Now for tonight, though, like I said, some showers still in the area. Temperatures back in those lower 40s. We are looking at a breezy wind out there out of the northeast, gusting up to 20, maybe 25 miles per hour. For tomorrow, though, very gusty winds, possibly even up to 40 mile per hour gusts. Sustained winds right around 15 to 30 miles per hour. Rain in the area for sure. Temperatures a little bit warmer back in those mid 40s, but not warming up by much, especially from those morning lows. Our extended forecast outlook outlook does show possibly a little bit of a rain and snow mix on Sunday, mostly in our northern counties. And then we'll see how things go by our Thanksgiving. For now, though, low 40s by Wednesday. Devin?
Thank you, Conrad.
All right, there is still more to come. Stay with us.
Poor insulation is the origin of your heating and cooling complications. We are Dr. Energy Saver by TC Hafford Basement Systems. We are the local energy saving experts. We identify the problem areas and provide customized solutions that leave your home comfortable and your energy bills affordable. Whether it's a drafty attic or poorly sealed ductwork, we have your back and more. Financing is available. For a no-cost, no-obligation estimate, call Dr. Energy Saver by TC Hafford Basement Systems. We fix uncomfortable homes.
AMHG Works LLC, American-made home goods, located at the Rennie's Plaza in Bangor. Come check us out. We're open 7 days a week, featuring artisans, crafters, and manufacturers from across the United States, where everything is meticulously designed with care and pride. We also have a wide selection of pet accessories and treats. Let us be your new favorite store. We look forward to seeing you.
Get ready for the holiday season. The Rotary Club of Bangor is excited to present the annual Festival of Lights Parade. This dazzling event lights up downtown Bangor and brings joy to thousands, featuring marching bands, small and large floats, dancers, and other performing groups. And don't miss the grand finale as Santa himself arrives to spread holiday cheer. Join us Saturday, December 7th, starting at 4:30 p.m. Let's kick off the season together at the Festival of Lights Parade.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag...
Not a carry, innit?
How important it made the USA. Great work.
Hi, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail? David.
David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
With Thanksgiving fast approaching, turkey is top of mind for many. But if you haven't gotten yours yet, our Alex Schlide tells us why you might want to consider shopping local.
So everything here is 100% pasture raised. Turkeys are out on pasture for their whole lives.
After 10 years of raising and selling turkeys, co-owner of Grace Pond Farm, Rhiannon Hampson, has become an expert on all things turkey.
They're very drawn to people. They're incredibly social. They will follow you around if you have anything shiny on your boots or your pants.
Come Thanksgiving, Grace Pond Farm's turkeys can be found on dinner plates from Freeport to Bangor.
There's a real demand for local, organically raised, pastured turkey, and we were just meeting the needs.
Hampson says locally raised turkeys are more expensive, but are worth every penny.
So I think there is a huge difference. So first of all, I always tell people pastured turkey cooks faster. It tends to be a little richer in flavor. It's a little more dense in meat.
It also has a ripple effect through the local economy.
We know that the tractor mechanic who comes here, the diesel fuel that we're purchasing down the road, that gas station employs people. The feed that we're buying from a Maine farm also serves to employ those folks who work at that mill.
So if you haven't gotten your turkey for Thanksgiving yet, consider buying local and making a Maine-raised turkey part of your family's holiday tradition. In Hampton, I'm Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Oh, so many plans going on right now. for
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving. It is a busy time. The busyness is here.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have a turkey yet, it looks like we've got an inside scoop.
Yeah, for sure. Although I hope you have your turkey at this
Fingers
point.
crossed. It's going to be a little dicey.
That's going to get a little dicey if you don't. All right, well, that is going to do it for us from everyone here at ABC7. Take care and have a great night.
And for more of your local news, join us on Fox 22 News Tonight at 6:30.
wind, rain, and snow in the drought-plagued Northeast to powerful storms slamming the West. Plus, the Trump transition, how it's going. With so much at stake, World News Tonight with David Mueller is the most watched.
Nonsense at the time, it's still nonsense.
Okay.
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
My daughter's the victim because this woman doesn't see that I'm a fantastic father trying to love my daughter. That's it.
I mean, he's using the court system to, I guess, save face. He's a very absent parent.
And my daughter is only a victim because this woman has...
He gave a nice little spiel about how he wants to be a dad. It's false.
Making a point to keep my daughter away from a loving father, to me, makes no sense.
He's having an adult temper tantrum, and instead of actually being a dad...
She needs to grow up. It's really unfortunate that people can see a woman in a pretty dress, pretend to be innocent and just assume that she's right.
Because she's 3.5. He could have been a great dad by now. He'd rather play around and spend his energy trying to upset me.
I'm going to fight to the day. If I have to stalk this woman from a bridge to make sure that my daughter's okay, then that's what I'll do.
I mean, if he wants to be a dad, I can't wait for that day for him to actually be a father. But if not, we are really fine without him, so...
Coming up, the executive director of the Wabanaki Alliance shines a spotlight on violence against Indigenous women.
Plus, two brothers reopen a coastal town's only grocery store just in time for the holidays.
And we'll have a look at your national headlines. Those stories and more just ahead.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
November is National Native American Heritage Month, and the executive director of the Wabanaki Alliance is shining a spotlight on violence against Indigenous women and people. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. Bryant testified on this issue this week at a congressional hearing. Our Kelly Warren has the story.
It felt very good to be seen and heard as somebody from Maine, as a Wabanaki woman, as somebody from the East.
This is Molly and Bryant.
And Diliwizi, Molly and Bryant, Naganujaya, Bonawapskeg. My name is Molly and Bryant.
She's the Wabanaki Alliance's executive director and a member